Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise for our new national anthem?
Quite good.
Yes, new theme, new series, new underpants. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Welcome, wherever you are, to Series 3 of Alfsplaining, the Jonesy, and dare I say, jocular, retrospective of the 80s TV sitcom Alf, as hosted by 2 of Paul Fusco's personal pals, me, Ben Baker.
And me, John Matthews.
And we are now. We've peaked. Let's just be entirely honest now.
Yeah.
We're all building up to talking to Alf himself. We've done it. It's all downhill from here.
It's a nice peak to have, though. We're exactly halfway through the season. It's the series itself. So we've peaked. So now it's a lovely descent to the end of season 4 from now on.
I think probably midway through series 4 we should do something actionable. To really drive people away. Some sort of terrible crime.
I do feel if we committed a terrible crime, we might actually engage more listeners than we have been doing so far.
Well, the truth.
We're influencers. We're influencers in the world of Alf-burst podcasts.
Yes, influencers of 2 people. And that is as good as I can manage and hope for. So we should talk about Alf. We're on Series 3 now, and the episode we'll look at today first aired on October 3rd, 1988, and is titled Stop in the Name of Love, at least in English.
Well, yes, this is interesting. In German, it's called Rendezvous gefälligst. That's Rendezvous gefälligst, which means rendezvous please, as far as I can tell. Although the automatic translator on my telephone considered it to be called Date of Love.
Which again would make sense.
Lynn is lovesick, say the Germans, in English, and Alf wants to help her, but turns out to be an annoying fifth wheel because he stows away on her blind date at the drive-in restaurant, which is not only the entire plot, but also inaccurate, because it's not a restaurant at all, as we will find out.
But I like the fifth wheel thing, because there's 4 wheels in a car. That's clever. Normally it's a 3rd wheel, so that's good.
Yeah.
So this, we always do like a bit up front about stuff like the ratings, and this got 18.3 million, which put it in 7th place for a dominant NBC. 2 places ahead of it was Dear John, which uses straight John Sullivan scripts from the British one in places, as there was a writer's strike, which had delayed the return of most of the big shows, which is why Alf hadn't come back until October, which normally would have been sort of a month earlier.
Tomorrow, the new season finally begins.
Thank you.
With an all-new episode of Alf. And the premiere of Dear John is here.
Hi, John!
Thursday, it's all fresh.
That wasn't Judd Hirsch, was it, that one?
It was indeed, yes, yeah. Yeah, the remake of the British sitcom. And it did very well because the Writers Guild of America strike happened in 1988, and basically it took off most shows from March 7th to August 7th, 1988. So everything came out late. So Alf being back now is pretty quick.
Yeah.
Considering that, they've basically been allowed to work for 2 months between getting back to the office and starting. And that might show in the episode.
Well, hang on, this is interesting. Remind me about this in the next episode. I'm confused as who the writer of episode 2 was.
We do have 2 writers on this one. The director was Nick Havinger, so he did most of series 2, so that's a fairly nice common name. But yeah, the writers Skip Frank and Gwyn Gurian, who both seem to have 2 credits each at IMDb. This, an episode of Saved by the Bell precursor Good Morning Miss Bliss. And as I said, that whole writer's strike thing, I'm wondering if this is like a spec script that they just rushed into production because the strike ended. It's like, right, what have we got? And like a lot of the writers had moved on from series 2.
A non-union affiliated writer or something like that. I don't know how it works, to be honest.
Or it's just a pseudonym, but I could work out why like a pseudonym would work on this and then I know, so Disney sitcom for children. So I don't know, but yeah, nothing else. If you are Skip Frank or Gringurian, which I think is a type of very stinking fruit, then please do get in contact with us. So yes, we are headlong back in, and we fade into episode 1 with our favourite mismatch lovers, Willie and Alf. The latter of which is wearing... what would you describe Alf's garb in this opening scene?
Well, Alf is wearing a rather super 80s shirt, which I am slightly convinced I had back in those days.
It's quite tasteful.
It's very much the sort of thing one's mother would buy from Debenhams, thinking it was fashionable.
And what is Alf doing in his shirt?
Well, he's rhyming everything, and it's not immediately apparent that's what he's doing, and but it gradually reveals itself to be his irritating trope of the day.
Yes, again, there's no reason for that. It's just that Willie's dishing out lasagna, and Alf is sort of rhyming things, but it's not that obvious.
What? We're just having a pre-dinner chat.
You know what I mean. Rhyming everything I say.
No problem, Willie. Have it your way.
Kate! Kate, he's doing it again.
What?
He's rhyming the last word of everything I say. Go ahead, Alf. He's been doing it all day. Now he's got me doing it.
But Alf, with plausible deniability, is claiming he's not doing that and thinks Willie is mental by doing the old spinny finger against the temples trick.
Yeah, well, again, this is Alf's slow driving Willie into the grave as the hairy cuckold.
I loved his Radio 1 show.
You can't listen to it now. He stays banned. It's banned.
No, you're not allowed.
So some very subtle scene setting as Lynn storms through the door and says, "What a creep. I never want to see him again." To which Willie says, "I guess Lynn and her boyfriend had a fight."
Yeah, she storms in. I wrote a vision in plaid and acid wash denim, doing that shouting whatever it was that was kind of like a "You OK, hun" Facebook post.
Yeah,
leaving Willie to do the exposition for us, and that is exactly what we want from Alf. Something happens.
Yeah,
Willie explains it.
But then there's another line that Anne Shadeen gives, and it rhymes with the fight thing. But
yeah.
Anne Shadeen plays it so natural. I'm going to put the clip in here, but it doesn't work.
I guess Lynn and her boyfriend had a fight.
We should go see if she's all right.
Oh, sure, when Kate makes a rhyme, it's no big deal. Just for that, I'm eating your meal.
So, what do we have here then? We've only got a new title sequence, haven't we? And it's full of clips from previous episodes with Alf in zany outfits, and I particularly like there's a bit where he gets hit in the snoot with a frisbee, timed perfectly to like a drum hit.
Yeah, I remember when that happened in the episode. I think it was when he was depressed back in season 1.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, wasn't that in the titles? Now, finally, 2 seasons later, we finally got there to what it is.
It was. So we see these clips. Oh, these clips are in episode Alf moments. But apparently the family can see these as they're all on a videotape as Alf is showing them dressed in a suit for some reason.
For some reason.
So, again, is Alf canon in Alf?
These are not the characters watching these clips. These are the cast. So when it says Max Wright and Max Wright chuckles at the screen, that's actually Max Wright chuckling. That's Anne Shadeen going, "Oh, that dick." That's Andrea Elson guffawing. And it's Benji Gregory face-palming halfway through.
Yeah.
It's the actors, not the characters.
It's very strange, and I'll be honest with you, I miss the video camera stuff. I mean, I'm happy to not see the little bloke in the costume clumping on screen every time, but it's a change, and they've changed the theme. They made it more sax and more phonish, haven't they?
And it's not that weird re-recorded theme we heard in episode 2 of season 2 either.
That was quite good.
I wondered if that one was going to be the new season 3 theme and they'd put it on the DVDs by mistake. But no, this is completely different from that rogue theme that occurred.
Yeah. And because there's more sax on the theme, Alf mimes playing the sax.
Yeah, and that is terrible. I mean, it's kind of...
It's not great.
It's like a piss take of terrible opening titles. You know, Alf playing the sax at the end.
Yeah, it really is. It does feel like there are times in this episode where I feel they're leaning in and trying to have their cake and eating it a little bit.
Yeah.
When it comes to the sort of traditional sitcom setup. But indeed, when we come from the titles in the first scene, how many sitcoms had a Trivial Pursuit scene?
All of them?
In this case, a knockoff. I mean, it's not Trivial Pursuit they're playing. I think it says Try Trivia.
It does. It says Try Trivia on it, and I think it must be a prop, but it's not like some kind of knockoff.
Yeah, I can find it.
Unless it's a really local, hyper-local shop knockoff or something like that, you know, that you get in a single department store in the US. I don't know what it is. It's impossible to sort of work out.
It did seem to have the Trivial Pursuit categories, though.
Yes.
And so, yeah, because it's the 80s, we've got this Trivial Pursuit scene with the family, and after belittling Willie's knowledge of sports, Alf, wearing a red muscle tee now, interestingly enough, gets in with some wacky space funnies.
Science or sports?
He'll take science.
Do you mind? I can pick my own category.
Who won the Super Bowl last year?
I'll take science.
What is the primary element of the planet Jupiter?
Oh, it's easy. Hydrogen.
You're wrong. It's buttermilk.
Willie's right.
Then why do they call it the Dairy Planet?
And to get another one here where Kate picks entertainment and Willie starts saying, "What's singing phenomenon?"
Yeah.
And Alf jumps in with Florence Henderson. And rather than say, "No, Alf, let me finish the question," Willie goes, "It's not Florence Henderson, it's Shirley Jones." Now, of course, there's same difference. And
I was going to make this my pop culture reference of the week, but I couldn't really find enough interesting stuff about either of them, other than they look the same, and Shirley Jones was turned down the role of Carol Brady in the Brady Bunch, which Florence Henderson ultimately took, and Shirley Jones went on to be Shirley Partridge in the Partridge Family, the almost identical role. So that was it, basically.
yeah, a very similar series, I guess.
It was basically a way for Alf to get out a pop cultural reference in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah, it's just there. And so we get another. There's a lot of Lynn coming in scenes.
There are, yeah, all woe is me and all that malarkey.
So she's the only one not at the game, so she comes in, and it's suddenly the awkward, mopey teen that we've been praising her for not being in past episodes.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to join in due to her breakup with
Lloyd.
which is a joke which runs throughout this entire episode that he's called Lloyd, but they pronounce the two L's. And they do bring it up and say, I never understood why they pronounce both the L's. And Al says,
Because he was a Lolox. Now, here's the thing. Firstly, the subtitlers on the DVD had no truck with this gag whatsoever. They flip-flop between explaining the gag on the subtitles and just ignoring it completely. But here's the thing. Who is playing the part of... Is it Donnie or Danny Duckworth later on? I forget which one's which.
It's Danny we actually beat. Yes.
Who is playing the part of Danny Duckworth? Why? It's Ricky Paul Goldin, spelling the Paul with two L's.
You know what? I'd never even clocked that. We'll come back to him later on, but So
the Lloyd gag seems to be a piss take of him, basically.
See, I looked at what a lox is, and it's basically a way of saying someone's like a fish, which is basically means you're an idiot, you're dumb, you're an easy target in poker, apparently.
Yeah. Okay.
But surely the loser would have been funnier and more like direct.
Yeah. Maybe you're not allowed to say that.
It's fair enough. Speaking of losers, Brian arrives with a book that Alf ordered from the Book of the Month Club, as always, on Willie's credit card. And that book is, John?
It's Shelley Winter's Guide to True Love.
And that is my most impenetrable pop culture reference of the week.
Well, thank the Lord for that.
It's not so much Shelley Winters, I think people probably know, an American actress. She won 2 Oscars for The Diary of Anne Frank in 1959 and A Patch of Blue in 1965. But I think it's basically because he says, like, step one, love is like pizza. Anne Winters was quite big. And she was known for having many relationships, but also being quite overweight. And I think they're just going, ha, she's a bit of a slag and she likes food. And that's why I think that technically counts as its own pop culture reference detour or must.
She's a bit of a slag and likes food. I mean, who amongst us can't say that about themselves?
Not I.
Me neither.
So we have this weird crossfade as Alf is suddenly reading this book to Lynn because he's bought it for her to help her with her romantic endeavours as Lloyd wants to go out with other girls and this makes her sad.
Yeah.
Alf asks if Lynn likes any other fellas.
Yeah, fellas, I like that.
And there's one, a baseball player named Danny Duckworth. But don't get confused these geeky cousin Donny. That would be ridiculous. So it's irrelevant anyway. So please forget about that.
Oh yeah. Don't even mention. I don't know why they even mentioned it or brought it up. To be honest,
I know. Dally and Donny are just not even similar names. It's ridiculous.
About 5 minutes before they have this discussion about Danny Duckworth, Lynn was in tears about the man who was apparently going. They were going to get married at the planetarium, and he was going to name a comet after her. Now 5 minutes with Alf, and she's already mooning, as it were, over Danny Duckworth. So
it's fair.
Who can say who likes who?
If only it'd been Terry Duckworth from Coronation Street. Oh, you're a rogue. But we loved him.
I was hoping there'd be some sort of Coronation Street reference in this. They occasionally throw in the British themes and tropes, but not this time, sadly.
No. When next time we speak to him, we'll ask if he's ever seen Take the High Road. So she doesn't want to ring him because he'll know that that teenage thing. Oh, don't even know I like him and stuff. So Alf, being an Alf, decides to take action. And we get a new day, and boom, we're straight in as Willie in his finest fishing gear, which is one of his more common outfits that we've seen now. Pokes a coffee maker on the kitchen table, and this.
Why would he even try making banana coffee?
I don't think you even want to know.
Now, that's not a punchline. That's just words. I
like the fact that Alpha's tried to make banana coffee off screen at some point, and all we're seeing is the aftermath, as we do with the the razor as he walks in. I think that's kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
It didn't have to be bananas. It could have been something even wackier, but...
It wasn't that. It was the asking, why would you try making banana coffee? I don't think you even want to know. It's that you've set up a joke and then not delivered. It feels like had this been rewritten, that would have been punched up somewhat.
They would have found a punchline for it, wouldn't they? Yeah, Mike and Al would have found a punchline for that.
Absolutely. Our great pals, Mike and Al.
Some kind of banana-related coffee gag, which we will think of ourselves. And if you, the listener, have a banana-related coffee gag that you want to tell us, please
do.
Write it in the comments below.
Yeah, below what?
I don't know. I don't know how podcasts work.
If they're on a train, just write it on the wall below where you are.
Tell it to the person who sat next to you. Tell your banana joke to the random person sat next to you on the train. Do it now! Do it now!
We're getting to my top Willie moment of this episode, the best bit of Max Wright as Willie in this character, as Alf comes in, and it's not immediately obvious, but he's wearing Willie's monogrammed robe.
I know!
It says WT on it, but you can't really see that very clearly. Obviously, Alf's not going to have a robe. And Willie doesn't go, that's my robe.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's a lovely subtle scene because Alf walks in having clogged Willie's razor. There's two beautiful things about this. One is the robe, which says WT on it, which I didn't even notice till the second time I watched it. And the other thing is that Alf has got a little plaster on him where he's cut himself shaving, which nobody ever remarks upon. And I just thought that was so funny.
Yeah, the Winters book says that women like clean-shaven men. I'm not entirely sure what he was planning to do, because that sounds hideous. A nude Alf.
I would love to see a nude Alf. That would be very funny indeed.
But at this point, when Willie sees that Alf has broke his shaver, he reacts like a cobra. He strikes, getting right into Alf's face. He's like,
why were you shaving?
According to Shelley, women like clean-shaven men.
Don't ever touch anything that touches my face.
No, the way he grabs him and pulls him right in, that was my top Willie of the show. Was it yours?
Yeah, it was. It was like Max Wright's ultimate catharsis for everything that's happened so far.
But it was also, it was so cartoon-like as well. There was something Fred Quimby-ish about it. The way the faces came together. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm allowed to because I'm a doctor. But there will be a screen grab of that.
And he's only broken the tension with Lynn, once again coming in through a door.
yeah.
And we learn that she's got a date with, the wrong Duckworth. The nerd one, not the fun one. Oh, Bo.
Oh, dear.
So we cut scene again, and it's night time, and Alf, now nude as God intended, talks about bowling with Lynn. I'm sorry, you can't put him in a shirt for 3 scenes and then no, he's not got a shirt. You notice.
There's got to be some consistency about Alf's clobber.
Especially when he's talking about balls. Well, melons as balls, as part of, his wacky Melmac, isn't it? They use cantaloupes instead of bowling balls because she's going bowling. Donnie has apparently even bought the matching bowling shirts. So I think that sounds like he's a nice lad.
It does.
And we're going to learn that he's just a nice person, actually, deep down, and she shouldn't have taken him for granted and wanted the cooler one instead.
That seems to be the way this plot is going.
Ding dong. There's somebody at the door. And it's only Danny, not Donnie, who apparently got too nervous to come on the date, so sent the cool one instead. And as he said, this is Ricky Paul Leverett Golding. He's another bit of everything actor, perhaps peaking in 1983 with Piranha 2, The Spawning.
Oh, what a film.
Or in the 1989 pre-fame Adam Sandler film, Going Overboard, a film which incidentally has a 1.8 star rating on IMDb.
Oh, what a film.
As Terrorist Without Shirt.
I found him on Facebook, so I could send a message to him and see if he wants to come on the podcast.
I think that would be horrendous.
You say he's the cool one, but he's wearing a very horrible leather jacket. Not quite as horrible as that bully from down the street wore in season 2, but it has a horrible brown leather jacket.
And we know it's the real one that she wants to go out with because Lynn walks in and says, Danny Duckworth.
Yeah.
So good. So he says yes. Apparently Donnie was too nervous to go on the date. So he says, well, we could go to the movies instead. But sadly, he doesn't have a vehicle as Donnie spewed in it. It's fun. So Willie, of course, being the good guy, loans them his car.
Never date boys with vans, though. That's what we learned in season 2. And we've
already learned, didn't we? Yeah,
we've already learned
we did.
That Donnie, or was it Danny? I've forgotten, has a van.
So yes, Willie, very nice man, as we say, loans his car out, which we cut to, and you'll never guess who was in there.
No. Is it Sandy Gall?
No, it was Alf, sorry. And what's he bopping away to on stereo?
It was more like an Egyptian, which amazingly they still managed to clear for the DVD release. So good for the Bangles.
I was trying to work out. It sounded like the original, but it was hard to tell.
Yeah. A couple of things I did ponder at this point, that sitting in the car listening to the radio was quite a popular pastime back in the day. I used to do that. If I fancy listening to Radio 1, I'd go out and sit in the car and put Radio 1 on, to keep out of everybody's way. And also, the car is now blue. They've changed their station wagon from a green station wagon to a blue station wagon. That is all. Carry on.
Never noticed that. I have so little interest in cars that I did not notice that at all. So yeah, Al's just having a little bit of a box to the radio in the car when, oh no, the couple are here, I better get in the back seat quick. And that you know what the episode is.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going like, I did not remember how this plot went, so I thought it was going to be one thing, that was another, and then I think, like, at this point, Danny goes, "Can I drive?" And Lynn goes, "No, you better know, it's with Dad's car." And he goes, "Oh, well, can we swap so it looks like I'm the driver when we get there?" And I'm thinking, oh, right, this is going to prove that he's just a dick.
Yeah, I wrote that interchange down because I didn't really understand it the first time, but I suppose that was the way you'd see it going, wouldn't you? That he turns out to be a bit of a creep.
Yeah. So we get to see the driving, and another sort of alarm bell rings when, instead of seeing the romantic comedy Moonstruck, which again came out at the end of '87, but it was one of those that hung around for a long time. The scene Death Wish 11. Death Wish 4, The Crackdown, had come out also at the end of 1987, but wasn't directed by Michael Winner, so therefore we do not know if he exists in the Alf universe. That would have been a beautiful Ven, but sadly, we can't do that. But again, it's like, we could have got to see the romantic film, but we were seeing the violent action film instead. I thought, this is setting him up to be an arsehole.
The other thing about that is that back in 1988, the fact Death Wish had reached number 4 was seen as notable enough to make that Death Wish 11 joke. Films going to 3 sequels was so ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it was always like, Rocky 84.
Exactly. Nowadays, a film is deemed unsuccessful if it doesn't get to 4 or 5 volumes.
Yeah. So, Lynn very quickly learns that Alf is in the back seat. How does he give away? You barely notice.
Well,
there's a small, subtle thing.
I very much enjoyed this scene. I'm glad it was in, but it makes no sense because obviously Willie keeps a pair of clockwork false teeth in his car. At all times, just in case.
On the floor.
In
the back seat.
Which Alf immediately knocks and they start chattering. So Alf then puts them in his mouth. And as Lynn turns round, he looks up at her with a glistening, gleaming American white-toothed smile on his face.
Which is funny.
I thought it was very, very funny indeed. So, good.
Yeah. So she panics and sends DD off for popcorn so she can manage Alf. And we get another pop culture reference. Is it your most impenetrable?
It is.
Valtima.
She goes, "What are you doing in this car?" And Alf goes, "Well, I'm missing designing women."
Ladies, do you know what to do when the loan officer in the bank calls you honey?
Does it strike you as peculiar that alimony checks are always post-dated? Or when you open a pop-top can, your nail gets caught under that little thingamajig and you don't know whether you should pull it and maybe break your nail off or what... If you've ever had questions about things like these...
Then have we got a show for you?
We may not have all the answers, but we sure as heck know how to make you laugh at the question.
Designing Women, coming at you this fall on CBS.
Now, the only reason I picked Designing Women will become apparent. American television sitcom, aired on CBS between September 86 and May 93, centres on the lives of 4 women and 1 man working together at an interior design firm in 1980's Atlanta, Georgia. The 1 man is a star Meshack Taylor, who we will all know as he appeared as FBI agent Addison in Season 1 Alf's episode Pennsylvania 65000.
Okay.
We may have even made Designing Women a reference back then. I think we may have talked about it.
It's very possible. But it's interesting as a gag because that's a sitcom on a different channel, as you say, CBS, and Alf is on NBC.
Yeah.
So I looked it up and it was actually on the same night as Alf.
Oh, really?
But an hour and a half later.
Oh, okay.
So... I could kind of see it appealing to Al's sensibilities, kind of a sassy women kind of sitcom. I don't know why it does.
Did it ever air in Britain, do we know?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it was on Sky.
Oh, really?
I've seen it. Yeah. I didn't get it, but it was back then. You just watched comedy because it was on.
Right, okay.
And then, it was on Sky. I don't think you ever got up to terrestrial, but yes, I have seen it.
But I was thinking, whilst watching these first few episodes of Season 3, that our regular Pop Culture Reference of the Week feature might have to be expanded because there are so many pop culture references all of a sudden. Now,
the reason we have this feature in the first place is because this is the sort of thing I remember a lot of.
Yeah.
So I was expecting it from the get-go.
It seems they're really churning them out. Maybe the writer's strike means they're looking for simpler ideas and just getting Alf to churn out a load of pop culture references in lieu of plot.
The people enjoy it.
I enjoy it. And I'm people.
So, yeah, we get this thing where Lynn's sort of cross and Alf's just a bit of a jerk, and it's not very funny, but it is quite good that obviously the bit that plays the audio in the car for the drive-in film, and Alf is shouting into it for various things, including what and see Animal House.
Yes. Can you roll Animal House for the blue station wagon? There you are, proof it is blue.
It wasn't the much say it was blue. I noticed it was blue. I just didn't notice that it was different to how it had previously been. All right.
It's the same model. As far as I can tell, it's the same model of car. They're just different colour.
Could it be a respray?
What could Alf have done in the ensuing months? Me and the car needed a respray.
It's fuckery here, let's be honest.
He's tried. He has. Yeah, they all need a respray when I finished with them.
Hey, rat fans.
Yeah.
So, back at the house, the Chandlers realise Alf has vanished because Lucky's water dish is in the microwave.
Yeah?
Good food, yeah, that's sure. But they realise really quickly, it must be in the car.
He's not really sat in the car a lot to be one of his hidey holes.
No, they didn't say like, oh yeah, last time I saw him, he was sat in the car. Oh wait, they've just gone, is he under your bed? No. Oh, it must be the car.
This leads to, which possibly may become our new feature, a good Brian line. And he says, oh, sure, she'll take Alf to the drive-in, but not me.
Yeah.
It's just good. A good line, delivered well.
Good sass.
Yeah.
Very good sass. So they realise, oh no, how are we going to get there? We've only got one car. Alf had to smashed up the other one. You'd have two, but fair enough. Luckily, ding dong, who's at the door?
Oh, it's the first appearance this season of Sir Trevor Ockmonach.
And yeah, he does get some great business where he's come back from a hunting trip, and they clearly want the car and then for him to leave, and so he naturally just sort of lounges out on the sofa and starts telling tales of his trip.
Filling the house with cigar smoke as his is wont.
So anyway, we finally got back onto 190 and got to this town Falstaff. Not even a souvenir shop. No Stuckies, no nothing. We ended up eating at this place called Food Here. Not bad. But they didn't have any sweet and low.
And it's literally 30 seconds. And there is no tie up to this. He literally, Willie panics and bots out the door, leaving Kate to hear the stories from this hunting trip. But everything Trevor says is pretty much funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's on par.
It was a great little vignette.
So, back at the drive-in, Danny goes in for a hug with Lynn, and Alf uses this as an opportunity to steal a popcorn, then chokes on the popcorn. Yeah. It's Lynn has to cover for quite an amusing way. Going,
yeah, there's lots of retching.
So she sends him off to get a root beer, which Alf is appalled by. And Alf says, this isn't a date, this is an oil painting, which makes no sense at all.
No, oil paintings can be sexy.
This is true. I've had many a wank in a blow. Sorry, I was never in that museum, and you can't prove it. So, yeah. So Alf says, "Come on, let's just ditch him and go home." But Lynn doesn't want to because she's liked him for a long time. And at this point, we get a little bit of lore of Alf's backstory as we learn about when he had problems in the old romantic stakes. As we've only heard about Rhonda, haven't we, in the past? He's the love of his life. But we find out about an old girlfriend called Ruby, who he was engaged to for 58 years. And it's literally just a joke to go, Ruby, don't take your love to town. Just, as you say, it's no joke, it's just a reference point to some pop culture.
I can imagine that Alf would do that. He would remain engaged to a woman for 58 years, called Ruby, just so he could do that punchline at the end of it.
Yeah, so let me find out that he met Rhonda the day after that he broke up with her, but waited 17 years before asking her out, and when he did, the planet exploded. So don't be like me, etc.
We do get something interesting here. He says, hey, you think I haven't had a few experiences with the opposite sexes? So, Alf is clearly an ally. Alf is an LGBTQIA plus ally. That is canon.
I think it's more that Alf will fuck out.
Well, that as well, but, he's a good lad, quite frankly.
So, Danny returns with this drink.
Oh, yeah.
And we learn that he actually paid off Donny so he could go out with her. Because he's always liked her, and he's like, oh, I'm always liked you, whoa, let's have a big snog. And then, depending on your mileage, the ultimate turn off or turn on appears at the window. Willie's big old beaming face. And I suppose Willie's face at the window is better than faces Willie at the window, which is why they cancelled the A-Team.
Very good.
Thanks very much.
Very good. Well done.
So
well done.
It makes up a surprisingly good lie, does Willie, about needing an old furry blanket.
Yeah.
From the back of the car because Kate can't sleep without it.
It's a good lie, but it takes him about 10 minutes to sort of get through it.
Yeah.
It's a very, very gradual scene. Yeah. Like they're stalling for time.
Dad!
Hi, Lynn. Hi, Danny.
Hi there, Mr. Tanner.
What a nice surprise.
Lynn, this is going to sound strange, but your mother couldn't go to sleep tonight because she didn't have that old orange blanket. You know, that old furry blanket that's always getting lost and...
No.
I think it's right back there.
It sure is.
Yeah, and it merely just grabs. I think does he put Alf in a sack? Basically,
It looks like it.
There's no attempt to hide that he's a living being in this sack. Wiggling around, asking for popcorn.
And as Alf is hauled off, he's saying, can we go to the concession stand? They're very reasonably priced. In a big, loud voice, in front of all the other people who are sat there watching whatever the film was, Death Wish 11. It's a great and lovely scene.
It is. So back home, Kate and Willis sneak into the garage, and Alf and Brian are in the car in the garage. And I seen them put they've hiked the TV in.
Yeah.
So they can make it like a drive-in. So they're watching through the car screen. We don't see it. We hear what they're talking. We hear the telly. But yeah, I guess it's quite a cute topper, I guess. And it just ends.
It just kind of ends with them wearing matching pyjamas and Willie and Kate snogging in the back of the station wagon.
Oh, yeah. I suspect if it had hung on any longer, there'd have been finger stuff.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
Probs. And that's it. That was the episode. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't care for it particularly much. It just felt half-finished is a problem.
I didn't hate it in the way I've disliked some episodes.
No, I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it.
It wasn't a great classic. There were some good lines. The thing is, though, here's the thing. MVP of the episode, I couldn't really pick anybody because nobody really covered themselves in glory.
No, which is again why I went for Trevor, like always. If in doubt, go for Trevor. I mean, only because I didn't care for much of the rest.
Begrudgingly give it to Trevor for his laughs per second rating.
I mean,
ratio,
if you remember, the season 2 opener wasn't that great either, working my way back to you. But at least that had Alf being yeeted to a living room. This don't even have that, so...
It was an ordinary kind of teen drama plot thing.
Yes, did it require Alf to be an alien?
Well,
him being seen might have been a thing, but really...
No.
It just could have been anyone. I feel this is just a spec script that they just put Alf in.
Yeah.
Like, program of compromise, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fine, but maybe, the writer's strike has caused problems for everybody. So, maybe we should give him a bit of a leeway that he can't come back the first episode of season 3 with an absolute banger. We have to make these concessions, which are very reasonably priced.
And if you want to buy any of our concessions, please do via our many social links. You find us as Alsplaining on all of the socials. And if you want more Alsplaining, indeed extra Alsplaining, where could they go?
Well, they can go to Alfsplaining Extra on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Alfsplaining Extra, where we're attempting to engage the entire Alfieverse.
Boy, this is Alfieverse. You don't mean anything to do with Michael Caine in the 60s shagging about.
If we need to, then we will. If it looks like we get more Patreons from doing about Michael Caine, then it will quickly pivot to being an Alfie-verse rather than an Alfie-verse.
Hi, Mr. Shamway. You have brought harmony to our home. And on that bombshell, I think that's all it says. I've been Ben Baker.
Oh, well, I've been John Matthews.
Or have I been Bon Baker, my cousin from another, but yeah, forget it. We'll try again next week.
Thanks for coming back, everybody, for season 3. We're glad to have you.
It's true.
Drive carefully.